Hello, welcome. You are on the Heart of Success show with your host, Larissa Vakulina. And I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time zone. And this show is all about success. Not success only in your professional and business life or your ideas and what you do in your life, but total success in all areas of your life. I'm sharing here tools, tips, techniques, and methods, and also my personal experience of how I got to the life that I live totally in success and happiness, so that you can too to create a lot of success in your life. Today, I would like to share with you my personal experience of being deeply in crisis. So, as I understood and observed and realized through my life that there is two types of crises in our life. Well, the most common crisis that we create to ourselves is through our attitudes, our decisions or indecisions, or through our pattern behaviors. This is the crises that we create in our life, and all the reality that we have outside of us is what we created. But there's also some crises that are created by institutions or governments or regulations and rules, and wherever the changes in a bigger scale of the economical or trading practices happen. These crises could be really unexpected and sudden and really shocking for us. So in my life, I experienced both of these crises, and today I really would like to share with you how I navigate myself and how I get out of this deepest crises in my life. So I already shared with you that some years ago I had this longing to purchase a property, and I did. I manifested it, I imagined it, and I purchased it without even really having a clear idea of why I need it. Well, then it ended up to be that I was having an deep illness crisis and also relationship crisis. And then on top of that, in 2014, in trading business and industry between countries, there was some sanctions imposed against trading with Russia. So the business that was very successful and very dynamic and growing business of 15 years was basically gone in 2 months. So we faced bankruptcy as a individually and as a family unit that was managing this business. So and my plans for the land that I purchased were completely gone, because what I was planning to do with my land was building more accommodation, creating some more facilities for the wellness center, and do all of these things with time and steps. But the universe had really different plans for me, and when the bankruptcy was there for us, I needed very quickly to make decisions of how I'm gonna to really face that. So the first step was to sell assets and property and other properties and all these expensive cars and whatever the possessions I had at that time. And when this type of crisis is happening within ourselves, the inner crisis, the outer crisis, it's never just one negative situation that happened to you. It seems like it's almost like a roller coaster that is unwinding, and it seems like there's a big cleansing happening at that that time. So for me, that was a really big cleansing happening, even on a stage where I was ready to move from the beach house that I sold because of the bankruptcy, to move to Ascara and a property that I purchased just a little bit earlier than that. At the night of all the packaged finished, I was expecting next morning truck to arrive and collect all my belongings, all the furniture and pieces and art pieces and all the rugs and paintings and books, whatever you have there. And I went to see my mom. She was living around the corner. And at that moment, almost what happened was that the sky broken and the rain was pouring as I have never seen before in Australia. It was so much rain falling down, and I have a feeling that I need to go back home. I need to go back home. But of course, I just thought, okay, the rain finished and then I go. And what I end up to be discovering when I get home was that the power went off, and my house was having these 3 storages, and the garage was down lower, and the pump that was pumping water into this, sewage system was actually off, and all the water that was falling during this half an hour of pouring went to the garage where all these possessions been collected in boxes and packages. So everything was damaged. So it's like the water was up to the knee level, and I was just in awe, standing there and saying to myself, "Oh my God, what an adventure!" So, so the next day, the truck arrives, and the rain was still going on, not so strongly as the night before, but all of these things that been wet and damaged. And the truck driver, the driver of the truck, said to me, "Do you still want to move? We're gonna to you're gonna to have your furniture damaged and all of these things, and maybe we can change the date." I said, "No, I cannot change the date because in 2 days' time, I need to give the key to people who bought the house." So I had to really just make that choice, that everything that was wiped up and everything was damaged, we kind of moved it all into the big truck, and we took me to the farmland, to my property, and unload it all into the one of the sheds. And so it was really a very shocking situation. It was developing very fast, and it was developing at the speed of the light, and really it's like I didn't even had the chance to comprehend the level of this tragedy, I would say. And then I end up to be on my land with all the things that have been wet, damaged, broken. And I went to bed that night. I couldn't really sleep, but what I also noticed, that my energy body become broken so much. It's like not only it was stretched from my old location to my new location, it was all scattered around because I couldn't really get myself. So, and I was amazed how our system, the intelligence of who we are, is actually created protection for me at that moment, making me really live in my body. So basically, I was having my body, but I know that I was not grounded and I was not there because I didn't have capacity to face all of this shocking situation and that drama that happened. And I was feeling that it's like that separation of your soul from your body that really, I think, helped me a lot. And I remember the couple of days that I just was so unwell. I was just under the blanket. I didn't really want to face this world. I was falling into that space of like, how could this happen? Why it is happening, from being so successful, from having all of these things around, all of this outer representation of success, and everything was wiped up in a matter of just 1 week time, right? So I was just hiding under the blanket, and I didn't really want to get out of there. But then it only took me 2 days. This part of me that saying, okay, well, all right, I bought this property and that property is my home. When I bought it, I trusted my heart, and now I'm here at my home. Why I am hiding? I need to really get and gather my pieces together. Number one, I need to ground myself. And just thinking like that, I said to myself, okay, I need to gear up with the sunrise, and I need to go around my property and really learn all the borders of my property, of this 89 acres of land. I want to know what is my border and what that border is having, how it looks, how it feels, because part of that leaving the body is also the space that is unknown, the space, the location, the energy. Nothing was known to me in a way that I used to know my other place when I used to live for 17 years. So I start to get myself out of bed in the morning, like 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m., and I would get my sports shoes and I would run. I would run around my property, and I would stop, and I would just take deep breath, and I would feel the place where I stop, how it looks, how it feels, what it does, how it is related to inside of the property, outside of the property, who is on the border on another side, who are the neighbors, and how do I see them or not. So I basically start to take myself out of that depression or the drama by just by discipline, by my positive decision that I would like, number one, to know what is my property is about, to ground myself and be present there. So I was going around every morning. I would go around, maybe sometimes even twice or 2 laps I would go around. And then I also, at that time, I was having about 25 young bulls that my son bought for me, so that they keep the paddocks in a shape, because the grass keep growing, and to keep grass in a very managed way, we need to have some animals to manage to eat to graze this grass. And we decided to have these young bulls. So and in summer in Australia, there's not a lot of grass growing, but there is a hay that was standing in each paddock in the piles. And every time that the cattle was moved into another paddock, there's another pile of the hay that needs to be given to them. So I would go and I move these big piles of the hay to give animals to some food, right? So that was my morning routine. And then it was just giving me so much of number one, physical strength, because I was moving through the space. I was not maybe right in my body yet, but my body was doing right things to move it, right? And then slowly I start to feel that I'm actually start to feel my body. I start to really feel comfort of knowing what is my border and what is my property and what is in every meter of my space is growing, or where is that little valley, or what is going on, or where the fence is damaged a little bit. And all these little things I started to notice, and this gave me that sense of grounding. Another thing I was doing when I would come from that run, I would look at that place where I have this little forest with the gum trees, and there was so much weeds up there. And I learned from someone that these weeds are so invasive, and they just gonna to take over all this forest. And like, for me, it was like, okay, well, I'm here now. This is my home. Why don't I just go and weed a little bit? So every day after my run around the property, I would go quickly to this forest, and I would just weed and weed and weed, and that gave me more grounding. So I was connecting to the earth, I was connecting to myself. And then after about 1 month of doing this, I completely didn't think about how dramatic or how shocking the situation was where I was. So that was, I even start to feel aliveness. I never ever felt so alive in my life, because I needed to look after animals and I needed to really explore what is there. I started to furnish and sort out all my furniture and things, and I started to create space, because space for accommodation, because I have this space for about 10-12 people to come and stay here, and I needed to have some income. So I started with that. I was cleaning 3-4 times a week. I was cleaning, and I get these groups of people, families, and also families uniting, families from different states or friends into my property, and I gave them accommodation for 1 night or 2 nights or 3 nights, and then provide for them all the things that they need while they stay on my property for holiday. So that things kept me quite busy, but also it kept me in my home, in my home that had this very deep longing of create a space for the benefit of many. At that time, I also was enrolled already in Barbara Brennan School of Healing, and I would just travel back and forth to America and from America 5 times a year. And in between, I would do all of these things. I would read, I would run, I would look after animals, and I would study, and I would rent out my accommodation space. So, and also the other things, when I was still deeply into that ungrounded place, I would practice quite a bit of just going out onto the paddock and sit in one little place and observe and watch animals, what they doing, how they actually living in community. And really it was such an amazing observation that helped me personally very, very strongly in my healing journey. That what I noticed was that if the animal would feel a little bit unwell, that animal would actually separate itself from the flock of other animals and would go in a very corner of the paddock and would lie there itself just alone. And what I was gathering, that animal would have less resources to do anything that the whole community of animals was doing, and that animal would need to have a bit more of a lonely time and silent time to get resources back to deal with with the unwellness or whatever it is. And then the sheep was doing the same. So the bulls were doing this, sheep were doing this. So for me, it was like almost a realization that, like, wow, animals are protecting themselves and when really activating their natural abilities to heal just by separating themselves and being with themselves and gathering back their energy and resources to fight the disease or unwellness that they had. So for me, that was really very symbolic in terms of like, well, we also are communal beings. Like, we love to be among people, we love to be with our loved one, with friends. And there is time in our life where we create the crisis or illness crisis, and that's where is our golden opportunity to really be with ourselves and see why would we create crisis, where we would betray ourselves, where we would be not deciding or deciding something that is not really true for us. I know how much we want to be admired and loved and respected and understood. And out of that, sometimes we just say yes where we meant no. I was there myself. I was always looking after everyone and loyal to friends just to feel that love and understanding. But because it was done from that place of not being in love with yourself and not having this true standing within myself that I would keep being loyal, and then my cup was empty. So what I saw in front of me on my property was really something that I learned really quickly, that I really need to face it myself. All of these crises that were upon me, I thought that this is a golden opportunity for me to learn the lesson, to learn that lesson that is in front of me. And I took that challenge. I really decided that I've been already depressed some time ago, and I know that we need to make this decision. We need to have this healthy ego or healthy will to get ourselves into that discipline, because discipline can create reprogramming of our mind, of the patterns that is seeing tragedy and shock as something that we cannot get out of, or something that is completely killing me, or and my life is crumbling, or my reality is completely gone. So this is the decision to do this and actually stand up and doing it, especially when we out of our balance, especially when we out of our body. We cannot really make constructive decisions. We tend to avoid and crumble, and we hiding, we in fear, and we always thinking that someone or something outside of us can take us out of that space. Well, I have these 5 steps that I did for myself when I was in the deepest crisis. These 5 steps really helped me a lot to get myself very quickly. In 2 months, I was already running my business. I was already feeling well. I healed myself, and I was already looking towards expansion, and I was looking towards new creation that I am constantly would like to have. This is the style of life I would like to live, like constant creation, constant expanding, creating amazing things that is for me and also for others. So these 5 steps that I was using is the number 1 is that I realized that to have someone that can save me from that state is really not a possibility. I realized that no one can save me but me, myself. That was a big, huge truthfulness for me, that I realized that I cannot really go and run after someone to have help me, to take me out of there. So that's my own inner, personal, intimate journey and decision. So the second one is like, there was a place in me when I was hiding under the blanket. It was like you bad, you did that, you didn't, you shouldn't check this, you should check that, and all of this little voice that was telling me and judging myself was not really good. If I would keep listening for that voice, I would probably not getting myself out of that crisis very quickly. I really would like to stop right now because there's a lot of comments right here, and a lot of people that are here. MJ, thank you. You here. I'm really glad you're here, and Vicky here as well. I'm so glad you can make it, despite of all this difference in time. So someone here, maybe Robin or someone, OMG, that is crazy set of circumstances. Yes, it was that time. But now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, thank you. Thank you for all of these crises or the shocking dramas happening to me in such a form or in such a time that I was able to activate myself through this and get out on another side with much more resilience, with much more strength, with all the clarity that I didn't have before. So I just not going to go and open all of them. I'm going to jump from the comments. And Broken, how and why did that happen? Yes, been there, done that. Yes, most of us go through these crises, and only through the crisis we then get the clarity, we then learn the lesson, and we go then in a much more stronger way to create our lives. So what I was talking about, I was talking the 5 steps. So the number 1 step is I realized that no one can save me. That was really important. The second step, I caught myself on that, on that thinking that I'm bad, I did that wrong, and I really quickly stopped that. I stopped judging myself and I stopped punishing myself. This is really important. When we keep doing it, we don't have chance to help ourselves quickly to get into the another space of just being grounded, present, and in that moment to really have the capacity for constructive thinking and being. So then the third one, what was really important for me, it was like asking for help. So I didn't know whom to ask for help. Now I know we need to ask for help of someone who's done that, who've been there, and who actually successfully get out of that space. But also, I was in the middle of separation. I was in the middle of that relationship breakage and things that didn't really work well. But I also knew that if I genuinely ask for help, my family, my ex, and my children, I would have much stronger support system. And it doesn't matter what form of the help they can give to me, any kind of support. I was so grateful that I could just ask them genuinely, I need help. That really helped me a lot. So the fourth one is practice daily. Like I was practicing daily and I'm still doing it. Right now, maybe I'm not running as fast as I did, back in 2014, but I'm going for a walk. I'm still checking all my borders, my fences, and everything that happened on my property. So practice daily discipline is really can help us to reprogram our negative pattern of thinking. It can help us to activate these higher faculties of us and connection to that divinity that can assist us so greatly in the space of the crisis. And the last step that I found was really helpful for me was like take great care of yourself, because when you in crisis, your resources are so limited. Resources of your thinking is limited because your mind going crazy. Your energy level is so limited because your energy body is so suffering from all of this shock and stress. Your other capacities are so limited. So what I did, I took great care of myself, and I made that as a priority. I went to bed in time. I eat well. I drink a lot of water. I was having rest in the middle of the day when I felt like I'm exhausted. I practiced meditation, and also what I found when I used to run, then I start to run outside of my property. I needed to really feel the neighborhood and how these people are doing, what they doing, how their properties look like. And I made a lot of friends through running out of my property just into these different roads and different properties. I would meet people and I would just make a lot of friends through that, and knowing that the neighborhood that I'm living is really amazing. These people are so amazingly connected and they help in each other. And I experienced that. When I moved to the property, I didn't know anything about rural living. And what I decided one day is that uh, I just went to that little village, like 5-7 minutes away from my property, where there's a little village where we having markets there, we have shops, we have cafes and things, and there was a communal, there was a name of the community gathering together, and I was thinking, well, I go there. I don't know anyone, but I need some help. And possibly these people that live in this region can help me. So I went one night for the meeting of this community, and I didn't know anyone. No one knew me. I was just coming very shy into this meeting, and everyone needs to introduce, themselves and just basically explain in a short sentences of who you are and what you're doing here. And I remember I was saying to them, um, thank you for having me here. And I don't know why I'm landed on this land, but I feel that I have a great course to take with this step in my life. But I'm a city person. I used to run business, and now I end up to be here with this land, and I don't have any knowledge of how to run properties of that side, and I need your help, maybe just in the form of talking to me. And that was it. And next morning, there was 10 people in front of my house saying to me, what help do you need? So this is how we can connect, and this is how we can make ourselves visible even in the place of the crisis, in a place of not being successful, in a place of the crisis that we experience from time to time in our lives. And I was so grateful to these people, because someone brought some trees for me, someone helped me to plant some trees, someone brought some other equipment. And that was just such a unknown experience for me, from running business in a traditional conservative way, just to come to the community of rural living. That was a heartwarming and my mind opening. So I really see how many comments you have here, and I will go over them in my time after the show. But today, I really would like invite anyone who stuck in the crisis, or who are in the place of not feeling well, or not feeling that you living your dream life. Maybe you join my community in a Facebook group named The Heart of Success with Larissa Vakulina. So maybe if you join and be with me going through my shows, you would find some valuable tips to implement in your life. Possibly my experience and my decisions and what I've done in my life to get myself out of the crisis can help you to make certain decisions and make very small changes that can really help you a lot. So at that state, I would like to say thank you for everyone that been listening and watching and being here and supporting me. I'll be back again on Wednesday at 2 p.m. next week with another episode of how we can all create successful lives, how we can all exchange and share our love, and a love creates success. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.